Tonight in the studio we have AmbPirate, one of Sacramento's promotions and booking agent for the club FIreEscape. She's going to tell us what it's like to be a Sacramento promoter, give us some experiences she's had with bands, and give up-and-coming musicians some tips on how to get a good show and take their next step to stardom. I'm Joe-G, and this is wJoe-G TV. You've done a lot, and you are doing a lot for the local scene by promotions, booking bands, playing, or actually putting a lot of shows here in town. Tell me, how did you start this whole empire that you're building now in Sacramento?
The AmbPirate
empire. There you go.
It started out, I started attending shows as a young kid. I've always been a local music fan. My mom would take me to the Heritage Festival, and then I started going to the Boardwalk, and I remember when I first fell in love, what was at a die-trying truck fighter so-called tragedy show about 7 years ago. So I became interested then, and then I found Sac Music Rocks, which was the only, at its time, the only website where anyone could go and find out what was going on in Sacramento. And the person who ran it, Funkmaster, basically would just promote for any venue, any local show, any genre. So him and I teamed up, and we made it a lot bigger, and we started going out to shows and promoting, and we wanted people to know that there was a scene in Sacramento. A lot of people don't know about it. So I did that for a couple of years, and then in June of 2010, I got the offer to book shows at FIreEscape. It was very trying for me at first because I didn't really know a lot of what I was doing. I kind of just went head on and used my common sense and intelligence to figure it out. And now here we are a year later, and FIreEscape has made a complete turnaround, and I've got a great group of people that I'm working with locally as far as promoters, and the bands are giving me a really great response because it's a fun place to play.
What's it take to be a promoter? What all do you have to do? Is it pay off? Are you making big bucks off of it?
Shit, no.
Why did you decide, hey, you know what? I want to hassle myself with bands and egos.
Partly I think it's because I might be a little fucking crazy. I like challenges.
Right.
I came from a working environment where I was the only female lead, and it was very challenging. And so for me to take over the role in Sacramento as the lead booker of FIreEscape and to be one of the very few females, it was a challenge to me. I wanted to prove that I could do this. And in doing so, and in finding that I was able to communicate with the bands and get across what I wanted them to do, I do not make money at shows. 9 times out of 10, when you see me working the door, I'm working it for free. My reward is when I'm sitting there at a show and I get to introduce people that have never met before in life, and then I see them at a show later on in a few weeks. Or I see bands on stage and they're rocking out and their friends are having an amazing time. That's my fucking reward.
As far as genres, are you promoting, you know, rock, rap, hip hop, reggae, or are you predominantly just doing rock, punk?
FIreEscape is known for being a predominant rock and roll bar. When I first started there, that's mainly what we stuck to, were the genres within, you know, metal, alternative, a little bit of indie. I like to push the envelope. I personally am a big fan of punk rock, so we're doing a lot of punk shows. I actually have teamed up with Richard Lionheart of Explicit Entertainment, and he and his 6 Side Soldiers have an amazing team of at least up to maybe 15 artists, and they're all hip hop, rap, metal. So we collab and we do shows together. I'm doing my first country show next weekend.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, my goal, and I'm doing an indie folk show this Sunday. I think my goal really is, if people want to hear it, I want to provide it.
I mean, most people who are musicians, they're crazy, you know, or freaking egomaniacs.
That's why I fit in, but I don't have an ego.
Yeah. So have you had any bad experiences with any bands?
Yeah, I have. Every once in a while, you'll come across, and it's happened recently with a few bands that I won't name that have been local for a while. And then they get offered a national, And it's as if their entire life and their world has changed, and they believe now that they're better than everyone else, and that they don't need to look at local show. They don't need to book local shows, and they don't need to support other local shows because now they're doing national stuff. And this is the way I look at it. If I get a national come across to me and I offer it to a band, it's because I believe in that band. It's because I want that band to make that connection, make that contact, have the bigger exposure. But it's not because I'm saying, okay, now that you've got a national, you're going to blow up, you're going to get signed, and you're never going to have to play local again.
Right.
You need to look at it as a humbling experience, that if you get the offer to do a national, that means that you got something that a lot of other bands didn't. So you should be very appreciative of that and still support the local scene as you had done before.
There's a new venue here called Ace of Spades in Sacramento. We haven't had a bigger venue to host a lot of nationals, and I think it's becoming one of the kind of like what the Cattle Club was at one time. I'm hoping it becomes that. But I know that you do a lot of like locals. You have some nationals, and you have a circuit of a few venues that are around. Are you looking to branch out and to get into something bigger?
I think what we have going right now is working. I mean, I kind of feel like if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And I'm pretty content with the level of management that I'm doing as far as just working with locals and very randomly working with nationals. I think what the Boardwalk and what Ace of Spades is doing is absolutely phenomenal. They're bringing in the larger names and allowing people in Sacramento to see them without having to drive out to Arco Arena and sit in a huge fucking place where you can't even see the band. And then if you do want to go to a huge show like Korn or Disturbed, which I just went to, you can go to Arco.
Yeah, there's always
so
that
I think what we've got going is pretty good. It just all depends on who you want to see and at what level are you willing to pay. And the Ace of Spades, to my knowledge, has pretty good price. I mean, you could see Andre Nicotina for under $30.
Right.
I think that's pretty rad.
Right. Yeah. And I think they just made it all ages too.
Yes.
For different shows. Anybody like totally F you, on a show or talk shit, give me something crazy. What's the craziest thing you can think of? You don't have to name names or name bands, but if you want to, go ahead.
When I first started, this is a few months after I started, and I had put together a show, and it was on a Saturday, and I was not aware that it was the same night as a huge car show, state fair, so no one came. And this particular band came from, I want to say it was down in the Bay Area, and they were so pissed that no one came and they didn't get paid. They did not promote. They didn't tell anyone about the show. And they show up, and then they didn't say anything to me, but they waited until the next day, and they messaged me, and they said, we're never going to fucking work with you again. You fucking suck, and this and that. And I was like, first of all, like, if that's the way you feel, I really don't give a fuck, because it's your responsibility to promote. And I'm sorry that people didn't come. It is what it is. I mean, shit happens. It was like too many other events going on for people to come to the show. The one I'm really worried about that I don't know how it's going to go down is the Murder Junkies show. I don't know if you're familiar with what they do. And
you can tell our audience what
okay,
what the Murder Junkies
so the Murder Junkies is Merle, which is Gigi Allen's brother.
Right.
Gigi Allen
Merle.
being well known for doing things like shitting on stage and getting his dick sucked, and it's just so random. I'm sitting in class a few weeks ago, and I get a text message from my boss, the bar manager, and the text message literally says, Amber, on May 20th, there is to be no anal pleasure or dick sucking on stage. And I'm thinking, I can't believe we're actually having this conversation, but okay, so we're gonna see how it goes.
And do you think right now is the best time to even think about we want to make it big in a band?
I think that if you want something bad enough, that anything's possible, and I'm proof of that. If I had advice to give to a band who is just starting out, my first thing would be to say is to not do overkill. Research the venues, see where you want to play and the type of people that play there. Research other local bands that are within your genre and support them. Go to other bands that are in the same similar genre as you and let them see you out there. Do not play every 2 weeks, play once a month. Make sure that you promote fully by utilizing every sense of social network you can do. I have seen bands that I will book and they literally don't even post it until the day before the show. You're not going to get people out that way unless you've already established a solid following. There's Reverb Nation, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, Tumblr. There's so many different resources. And then the old-fashioned flyering. You will see me flyering at shows, at Dimple, at The Beat, at House of Hits, at ARC. If you want people to come out and listen to your music, you have to make yourself known. And then once you've established yourself, that's when it would be time to work on getting a CD. Not anything huge, not anything grandeur, just a real simple 4-song CD that you could submit to Sac Rock Radio or to local licks, to your fans. And then, you know, from there, you just got to take it as it comes. If you're doing this because you love it, then you're going to put the effort and forth into it to make it happen. If you're doing it because you want to get rich and you want to blow up and be the big next fucking rock star, then you better be prepared for some hard work and to spend a lot of money, because that's what it takes.
I also know you are part of the Diamond Dolls. Is it 916? Is that
Diamond Dolls 916?
Tell us a little bit about the company.
Diamond Dolls 916. I'm actually one of the original members. It is founded by Jessie DeVille. She started it just about 2 years ago, and basically it's a group of girls. Majority of us have tattoos. That's not a requirement. The requirement is just that you live in the area, you're willing to go to events. We do things like photo shoots. We've done a few calendars. We are sponsored by H2O Ocean. We just did an event, Bikers and Babes. We're going to be at Ink and Iron. And to be quite honest, I can't be more grateful for the girls that I have in that group. A lot of those girls have now turned into what I consider family. And yeah, we are a bunch of hot bitches, but we're really fun to fucking hang out with. It's, you know, we're not just all about sedity and shit. So, I mean, the Diamond Doll girls are really a cool group of girls, and I'm really blessed to be part of them.
I did have Darren Paquette and Craig Fouts, who is part of Chiaroscuro. They do photography and have a whole media company. I had them interviewed in here, and I told them one thing I noticed about a lot of their work is a lot of beautiful tattooed women that they tend to, I mean, I'm like, how do I get involved in that? That's one thing I want to get involved in.
Yeah, the last shoot we did was, I'll tell you a little crazy story. Last shoot we did was really fun. It was at Capital Ink, which my friend Irish owns downtown. We did it, our first group shoot. We haven't done a group shoot in a while. And then after the shoot, I ended up getting a little wasted, and I decided that it would be a good idea to get a tattoo. So me and another one of my fellow Diamond Doll sisters are now the proud owner of the word bitch predominantly on our asses. I love it. And the cool thing is no one can see it. So it's like my own little secret. But well, now you guys know.
I know there's a lot of different promoters and a lot of different, internet radio stations. There's a bunch of people who are trying to help the local scene. There seems to be no room for one person to do everything for everyone, because that can't happen.
No.
What would you say that collectively it's a good thing to ask, hey, support, different people, different promoters in the scene?
I think there's a great collaborative effort that's going on right now. I, for the first time, can say I'm very proud of who I'm working with. When I started this, I was completely on my own, and it was really scary to try to get these people who have never dealt with me in their life to trust me. And now we've got this team. I call this Team Local Music. I just came up with it, but it's Larry Olson of Savage Year Entertainment, Grant from On the Y, Adam from Press Club, Jay Pantoja, Big J Shows, and then Explicit Entertainment, also Mark Gilmore, and then we work with 91.5 KYDS, Sac Rock Radio. I think that all of these people and shows and are going to collectively help spread the word. I don't really think that there's not a such thing as too much promotion or too much help. I think that if everyone's doing it for the same cause, and that's just to support local music, then it's a good thing.
What advice would you give anybody for an aspiring musician, up and coming?
Be honest with yourself, and always do what you love. And one of the things that I live by is that only when we cease to change do we begin to die. So sometimes you have to look at the situation and say, okay, this isn't working for me. Fucking change it. There's always someone, there's always someone out there or something that can help you. And if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. But in order for you to succeed in yourself, you have to support the people around you.